everybody, welcome to A Trader's Journey. My name is Leslie Pips. Welcome to another Sunday sessions as we unpack the market, try to predict the market, plan our week, and see what the market is going to show us as when trading starts on Monday. So I like to do these sessions because it helps me prepare for the week and just execute when the market opens or readjust based on what the market's doing. So if you can join me looking at these markets, be patient with me. It's gonna be quite a bit of a long video because I didn't do one last week, so I just wanna unpack the market for you guys, and hopefully you guys can trade with me and hopefully you learn something from this. So without further ado, jumping on to the weekly. Obviously, let me just zoom out and so we have context, right, on why the market's reacting at this level. So you can see we had this big run here beginning of 2022, right? So obviously we've been slowly pulling back into that level. This is the level I'm talking about. We're on the same page. So we've been slowly pulled back into that level and we reacted on that level, right? If you saw the video I did 2 weeks ago, you can see I predicted this pullback, but obviously I managed to take some trades, but I didn't take the trade that I predicted. But it's all good, I missed it because I was busy, and but yeah, now we look forward to the next coming week. So obviously we reacted from this level. And then we keep rejecting this major level because it's a major level because of how the market has been rejected at this level. Obviously, we pushed through this level, reacted here, came back. Price is failing to break through this level. It tried once, it came back, pulled back, tried once, and we had a push, and we had 3 weeks of bearish price action. So if I look at here, these candles here, you can see how they failed to break this level. So which tells me this is quite a major level, and it's going to be interesting to see what price does when it gets to this level. So for me, I'm predicting a open and a sweep and then a pullback, right? Sweep this candle when we open, and then we have a bit of a pullback, and then we can readjust from here and come down again. That's what I'm looking at the moment. If I'll go on a lower time frame, obviously I haven't looked at the lower time frames yet to see how we close. I wasn't very active on Friday, so bear with me. So this is the weekly, yeah. So it's rejecting from this. This is a major level. I'll show you in the daily why I say it's a major level. You can see how much price has sort of respected this level. So let me just move this and sort of zoom into this level over here. We've had quite a bit of rejections at this level. Had a push through it and came back again. Like I said, rejected, pushed up, came back, rejecting again. But most of the important thing is to see how Friday reacted. Obviously, Friday opened here with a bit of a gap. We had a bit of a run into this level, failed to break through it, and then the sellers came in and took over the market, and we closed very bearishly. So this is going to open quite strongly to come sweep these lows over here, right? So we frame our trades based on how we open at this in a few hours time at this level here. Obviously, if price opens and runs while during Asia, because I can't trade Asia, I'll be sleeping at the time. I'm going to readjust my trade based on what price does when it comes here, right? Obviously, if we break through this area over here, we close below this area, then we're going to be trading inside of this candle, which means you can frame your trades and just target the low of this candle, which is about 100 pips, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, about 98 pips. If we break through this candle, get a rejection at this after a breakthrough, break and retest, and then you can target the low of this candle, because we're going to be trading inside of this candle. So there isn't a lot that's going to stop price from coming to these lows at the moment. So But for now, I'm looking at current price, and it is looking like it's coming down here again. If I go on the 4 hour to show you what I'm talking about, obviously you can see we had a bit of a corrective structure coming up to this level. You see this structure here, it's quite corrective, it's not decisive. Obviously you see this thrust candle, and it's been correcting up, failed again at this level, and now something interesting happened. You saw a thrust candle, so you see it swept the high of this candle and then engulfed all these candles, these three candles, these order blocks, right? So that's a sign that the sellers came into the market, right? So for me to enter this trade, so currently if I'm going to enter this trade, this is my target at the moment, right? And then I can readjust to see how it react at this low, right? But I'm looking for, because we closed so bearishly with a lot of volume, I'm hoping for a bit of a corrective structure and then come down and then frame my trades around this area, right? I'm hoping price can pull back a little bit correctively, fill some of these gaps, and then I can look to enter and targeting these lows. That's my trades. If I go in a lower time frame, I'll show you. Obviously, you see there's a break of structure over here. We broke structure. I'm kind of hoping for during Asia a bit of a pullback like this in a corrective fashion, and then we do that. That's what I'm hoping for, and then I can readjust when I come to this low, because of price is showing that it's very bearish, but I need a bit of a pullback and target these lows, which is not a bad target. If we have that pullback, I mean, it's not a bad target. It's about 63 pips, and then we can readjust for the rest of the week at this major level. So that's the trade I'm kind of looking at. Let me just leave it here as a reference. That's my plan for Monday. If we open the way I expect us to open, that's what I'm looking at. Going into EU, I haven't liked EU's price action for the entire week. It hasn't been very clean, so I've been focusing more on GU. But looking at EU euro dollar, obviously you can see euro dollar already broke this level here. Obviously we closed below this level, we wicked into it and then still closed below it, but I'm not quite sure how it's going to open. With EU, it's quite unpredictable, but if we can hold above this level, then we'll be trading inside of this weekly candle as well, and then we can target these lows. So that's what I'm looking at. Obviously, it's still a very bullish market until we start breaking lows like this and this. At the moment, it's still a very bullish market, but I want to see how we do coming into this low. And looking at the daily, the reason why I haven't been looking at EU a lot, it's because of this here. I don't like this price action. It's very indecisive, and traders get caught in the wrong side of the market, or because there isn't a lot of volume on EU at the moment. I don't like how it's reacting. I don't like these wicks. Even though we wicked up, Friday wicked up, took the highs of Thursday, and then we closed below the opening price of Friday. So price can easily come down here. It can easily retest here and then come to this low, because we are inside that weekly thrust candle. So we can still come to these lows, but the price action is not as clean as it is on pound dollar. So I'm not overly excited about trading EU, even though it's showing us a bit of characteristics of GU as well. You can see we obviously this is news, and we can see price sort of try to go up, broke the structure a bit, but these candles, there's too much volume in here, but we still had a sweep and an engulf, which is a nice entry model. But I still want to see more from EU, because of I don't like these candles here. there's too much volume in there. Price is moving up and down too much. It's not as clean as GU for me. So I'm gonna be looking at this, see if we can maybe reject a few times here and then come down here. There's still a trade if market structure presents itself to be clean as when we open, when Asia prints. By the time Asia prints, I'll be sleeping, but by the time I wake up, I'll see how Asia printed, and then maybe I can make a decision on EU as well. But at the moment, I want to see how we hold this level and probably enter at here, which is a better risk reward than GU. But at the moment, I'm not sure about EU because of there isn't much volume, so trading EU is not as good for me personally. You might have a different idea, you might have a different model that works in a market structure like this. For me, it doesn't really work, so I'm gonna be looking at GU more, but I'll keep an eye on EU. Going into gold is also a very tricky one at the moment. It's sort of stuck in a range on the weekly chart. This range over here, it's been stuck in this range for a very long time. Obviously, because of what's happening geopolitically, selling gold at the moment is not a good idea. It does give you some options to sell it. It's not a good idea but if you look at gold, you can see there's these two thrust candles and a little bit of corrective structure, right? Our weekly doesn't show us much. We're going to daily as well. It's not as clean, it's not as clean because of this corrective structure over here. I did take a trade on gold on my personal account, but it's very low risk. I'm not risking much on it. I'm risking very, very little. I want to see how we break this structure on the daily. So I'm not really keen on gold at the moment. It's not as clean for me because of this structure is too big for me, and I'm not overly looking at gold at the moment until we start breaking these major highs. We break this high, I know we're gonna create another all-time high if we break out of this zone over here. If we break out of this zone, we're gonna definitely create another all-time high. We are coming here. So that will be the play for me for gold at the moment. I'm staying away at the moment. And UJ has been looking very bullish because of the strong dollar. The dollar has been presenting itself to be quite strong at the moment. On the weekly, we are reacting from this weekly order block. Price just hit this order block. I want to see the reaction, whether we get a pullback or we see another run on this. On UJ, did trade UJ last week as well. Took a nice trade. Managed to get funded because of that trade. So it's been good to me. So I'm waiting to see how we do at this level. So currently, obviously, we were corrective for quite a long time, and then we're starting to see some volume come in. On the daily, obviously, this is that weekly order block. You see this inflection point over here, came into this, fill this gap. Now we're rejecting this level over here, right? So if price breaks this and then holds, I'm gonna be looking for opportunities to buy again to these levels over here. If we break and retest, this is a free run to come take these highs over here. So I'm probably predicting a stronger dollar to finish the year. So that's what I'm looking at on UJ. So I'm looking at this level. It's either we reject here, and then I can possibly look for a pullback entry, but I am not looking for any pullbacks at the moment. The market is running strong, so I'm just gonna wait for more opportunities to take a ride on this bullish trend, right? So going to the lower time frames, we can see we're still holding on to this level, but this bit of volume that came in Friday before we closed. So I'm looking for a break and retest at this level, and then target this area over here for next week. That's what I'm looking at. So I'm just waiting to see how Asia is going to print, and then make my decision from there. But I'm very bullish on UJ at the moment. We probably should get to 150 next week. Price 150. This one here, over here, that's 150. We should get there next week if the momentum continues and if the dollar continues to be strong. So that's what I'm looking at. Hopefully you guys are enjoying my analysis. If you guys want me to cover more pairs, let me know. I can definitely do a video for that, but I usually just cover my my watch list. I only would trade pound dollar, euro dollar, gold, and UJ, because of I get enough. It moves enough for me in a week to find opportunities. I don't like watching too many pairs because of I start getting analysis paralysis and I start making the wrong decisions. So it's been working for me, focusing on a few pairs and taking only the very best positions. I mean, I don't trade as much as I used to, but when I do trade, I tend to take very A plus setups. But I have to be patient for them to set up because I'm only looking at these four instruments. So I think if you guys must think about it. I think it's for me personally, I think it's better because my trading decisions have become better. I look at my strike rate, I look at my trading journal and see I'm getting high quality trades because of I'm focused on a few pairs. I know exactly what they're doing. I know exactly where the price is. You know, when you start focusing on too many pairs, then you start making the wrong decisions because you basically start getting into chasing the markets, and you basically don't know where the market is. So when you hone in on those pairs, on a few pairs, and then you target them and then you learn about them, the more you trade them, the more you start to know how they move, the better your strike rate is going to be. So that's what I'm experiencing. But some people might have a different view on this, and it's just totally fine. Trading is it's a personal thing. For me personally, I've realized that since I've started focusing on a few pairs, my strike rate has improved, and I'm trading a high quality trades. So it's working for me. If it's not working for you, it's all good. I'm just here to lend my opinion and take you on my journey of this on my trading journey. So I think on the next videos I'll start to share more about my results and what I'm doing, and we can take it from there. So thank you for joining me, guys. I appreciate you, and have a good trading week.